Hello, good people of the interwebs. Yep, this is Ichigo Musco, and I brought a little something in here. Which is sitting next to me, and this is the mystery box that I found outside. So we're actually going to take a look at this mystery box and see what's in here right now. Because I've put it into Ease 1 and 2 on the DS, that leaves me with little to nothing to do whatsoever. So, it's not a bad thing when I say, oh, it's completed. It only means one thing. I'm taking the night off. It means I'm not going to record, and I did do so last night because of a stream happening with Big and the rest of the crew. So, tonight, before I actually do anything, I'm actually going to show you what's been found outside that has been hidden for like 13 or so years. Well, inside here is a bunch of games. The thing is, most of them don't have a disc. The reason is because most of my discs are in a pack. In a pack that I put together, and it's underneath my bed. All my Sega CD and Saturn discs are in there, despite the fact that most of them I don't know where they are, but some of them I have actually found. So let's take a look, shall we? One of my very few requests that I said I was going to do haven't gone done yet because of all the other projects that are being stacked up mentally in my mind. One I remember seeing is this game, Popple Mill. And I do remember that this was a request by Sheena. She wanted me to do Popple Mill, and I plan to I plan to do this as soon as everything is just basically wiped from my list over here. So we have Popple Mill. Enough said. Popple Mill for the Sega CD. Done by the late great Working Designs. And then we look at a few more games that I've actually done. One is kind of broken, but it's broken, but I did do it. And this is the only thing I can pull out because I don't know where the fuck the front is. But this is Lunar, the Silver Star. And yes, I've actually covered this game a few years back in April. Not only one, but two as well. And let me tell you, I enjoyed every bit of it. If I would do it again, I would. Because there were some parts that weren't shown. I think there was just one part in particular that wasn't shown, and that was Gene's intro. And that's when I was working with a headset and not a microphone. So that's another thing. A few more games I also have, and they're not just Sega CD games; they're also Nintendo games. Now, I think everybody is familiar with two games that they remember seeing. One just happened to be the one that came with Rob the Robot, Gyromite. I mean, if you had Stack Up that went with Gyromite, good. If not, Gyromite. If you can play with a robot, you can play with a robot, and you can also not play with a robot. So, yeah, Gyromite. And I'm pretty sure everybody who has dealt with this nightmare, except for one person in the random co-op crew that actually has basically slain this beast, this golden beast. Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. I played it. I couldn't get past it. And I just don't. I tried. Even though I've tried, I've only gotten like maybe half, and that was just basically out of sheer dumbassity. But yeah, I tried playing Zelda 2. I've tried. It's like just too much. Although there are a few games I also have, and like I said, they're not just Sega CD. Sega CD is only a few of them. But one I remember I still have, and it's for the PlayStation. Tekken 3. Tekken 3, yeah. I like fighting games as an person. And really, I feel we in the group should have like a fighting game. Just one fighting game in which, we basically just go smack each other around the block or something. But yeah, Tekken 3 is by far, back in its day, one of the most revolutionary games in the fighting game universe, because you had this, Tekken Force. You basically had something that was like reminiscent to Streets of Rage or Final Fight, and it was rather good. I mean, this is back then when everybody was looking like this, and they weren't looking as nice as Namco Bandai actually made them out to be. So yeah, I actually own this, but oh no, that's not all I had in here. I not only had Tekken 3, but I also had I also had this. Ta-da! I had a PS1 version of Tecmo Super Bowl. See, I always made it a habit to like double up on my disc whenever I owned them in abundance, just because back in the day I used to play a lot of games, and I mean I used to like switch so fast, like switch, playing for like 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, and then just switch on another game. Back in high school, man. Back in high school. Oh, but it doesn't stop there, folks. It doesn't stop there. No. You see, I also owned a Sega Dreamcast. Notice I said owned a Sega Dreamcast. Mine doesn't work anymore. And this is one of the games I actually have. I have this on emulator, as well as on the Xbox. This is King of Fighters Dream Match 1999, or King of Fighters 1999. And I had fun with this game. I really did. I really had fun with this game. That's probably the reason why I have King of Fighters 13 on my Steam wish list. Yes, I'm throwing out a hint. Make use of that. But that is not all. That is not all I actually owned. But you see, if I had a Sega CD, a Sega Saturn. Well then, a few of you know about this. This is a converter, a Sega Saturn converter. Now, for those who still have a Saturn, or those who actually had a Universal Sega Saturn, if you had a Universal Sega Saturn, which is imported Sega Saturn, then you didn't need this, because if it came from Japan or anywhere else, you wouldn't have to worry about this. But this, if you know, for some of us who wanted to play Japanese games, you would have to put this in the cartridge slot of your Sega Saturn. Of course, this is a converter, and this came with my Japanese version of King of Fighters 97. Now, for those who actually had a Game Shark, it worked the same way as a Sega Saturn converter. Basically, all you had to do was just put it in. It would kind of disguise your Sega Saturn, and whoop, you take that out and put that in. You can play King of Fighters or whatever kind of games you had. I only had two. I only had King of Fighters 97 and Sailor Moon Super S Various Emotion. That was when my dad was still alive. And I was about 13 when I had my Sega Saturn. But speaking of Sega Saturn, you know what games I had for the Sega Saturn? Clockwork Knight 2. You're probably wondering, why didn't I get Clockwork Knight 1? Well, when I actually have Sega Saturn, my Sega Saturn is still around. It's right back here, underneath this nice stand over there. But as you can see, when I actually had my Sega Saturn, or when I was playing it, this actually came on a demo disc, and this is one of the main games that I actually played on the demo disc. Because if some of you who still have your Sega Saturn, remember, on the demo disc was Clockwork Knight 2, World Series Baseball. I believe there was, I'm not sure if there was Tomb Raider on it, but I'm definitely sure Sega Rally, the very game that made its own meme that I kind of made for myself and the group. Yeah. Demo disc. But yeah, that demo disc, and as you see, Misaki is curled up slightly. The demo disc was pretty fun. But what I also have for Sega Saturn was Fighting Vipers. I actually have that on. I also have this on 360. You all know what Fighting Vipers is. The sequel, Fighters Megamix, had crazier characters, especially the Japanese one. It featured, I believe, the Hornet from Daytona and Pepsi Man. If you ever heard the game Beyond Oasis for the Genesis, this is the sequel. I mean, this is the prequel to Beyond Oasis. This is called The Legend of Oasis. And I might consider LPing the game before this game ends. Behold, this is one of the games I still have in its disc. I mean, in the case. Legend of Oasis wasn't so bad. I mean, it wasn't so bad. I just kind of wish I played it more. But, like I said, I would probably do Beyond Oasis. I would probably do Beyond Oasis, which precedes this game. Timeline-wise, anyway. Oh, and I also have this game. Shining the Holy Ark. Shining the Holy Ark. No. Whatever. Shining the Holy Ark. Oh, there it is. Here, I was wondering what the... Never mind. Moving on. Moving on. Actually, this is funny. You know, I was wondering whatever happened to this game. I found it. I not only found this game, which I also have on my... No, I don't have this on my 360. No, I don't. No. But this, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I actually have on my 360, which I was looking so desperately for so long. And I wish this was on Steam. Guardian Heroes. That's right, Guardian Heroes, which is also for 360. I've played both in fond memories. Fond memories of me and my cousin whenever I visited Louisiana. I usually brought my Saturn with me, or my Nintendo, or probably both, and we'd be playing Guardian Heroes. And I'd always be Jinjito while he was Randy, and my other cousin, my baby cousin, his name is Tevin, but we always called him Nando. Because every time it's like this. I said, "Hey, Randy!" Even though his nickname is also Pookie. I never called him Pookie. That's the funny thing. I never called him Pookie. I always called him Randy, because his character that he always picked in Guardian Heroes is always Randy Green. And Randy Green had a little fire-breathing hamster called Nando, which was a magic creature. So basically, I just called him, "Hey, Randy, did you bring Nando?" "I see. Nando's right here." So yeah, but Shining the Holy Ark puts you in the mind of a prequel to a Genesis game that everybody has heard of. It's called Shining in the Darkness. So that's what Shining the Holy Ark is. It's sort of it's probably a sequel to Shining in the Darkness. I love this game because basically these were all the characters you basically were playing as. You were playing as Arthur, Melody, Uso, Issa, Rhodey, Doyle, and all the like. And like I said, I played this game before and beaten it. I can't say I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed it because the final boss was a true bitch. And you had to level, and you basically had to buff as much as you can in this game. So yeah, this game was challenging, but I love this kind of challenge. It was just breathtaking when you finally beat the boss like that, especially when Kirkle hit. Another one of my Saturn games that I tried playing, and also from the people who brought us such classes as Lunar and Cosmic Fantasy. The late great Working Designs, and this is one of the games that I've actually played. It's called Shining Wisdom. I tried playing this game. Couldn't understand it for the life of me, and of course, you can see the disc, in which I got to hold very carefully, is still inside the case. It tells you something. I take very good care of my games. Another game that I really wish would make a comeback, but I also played to death and loved it all the same, and I find 2 games in here again. Albert Odyssey, The Legend of Eldian. Yes. 2 Sega Saturn games, folks. 2 Sega Saturn games. These are the rest of my so-called missing Sega Saturn games. Street Fighter Alpha 2, in which you can't see that. Street Fighter Alpha 2, which I played the living shit out of. I play a living shit out of every game, just about. And right here, Albert Odyssey, The Legend of Eldian, which was developed by Sunsoft and brought over by Morgan Designs. This game I remember so well because I played the living hell out of the game. 13 blocks, but every block was just damn good. My favorite character was the dragon, only because I used him more for healing than anything else, and he didn't cost shit. His breath spells didn't cost anything. It's just like. Plus, the battle theme was cool. But yeah, this was my personal favorite of all RPGs during the Saturn age. During the Saturn PlayStation age, this was truly a game worth playing. And if it was on Steam, and if I had the money, I'd buy that in a heartbeat. I really would. I really would buy that in a heartbeat. Another game that I actually have, but I never beaten. Shining Force CD. I actually have this on emulation, and I might do this in the future. And let me say that Shining Force is not in this disc, but instead is Final Fight CD. And this is the one based off the arcade game. So this is not the Super Nintendo version, this is the actual arcade game. Which actually, had poison instead of its US version. This is the actual version. But Shining Force CD is actually the sequel to Shining Force 1. They mention this in the intro, but this is the sequel to Shining Force 1. So therefore, in order to be Shining Force CD, Shining Force 2, Shining Force Legend Hija, and probably Shining Force 3, and the list goes on and on and on. But this is probably one of these games I would want to basically try to LP in the near future. Only because I've gotten as far as the end boss, but I've never beaten it. Because I don't know. I couldn't possibly beat it because I tried beating it with the hero. He does meager damage. Another game that nobody's probably ever heard of, but probably few have heard of, is Astal. Astal is one of those gems, one of those true underrated games that basically, it's beautiful. I mean, you look at the back, you look at all this stuff, this is beautiful. I've actually played games like these, and I've actually played this game before. I didn't really get far, but my God, it was just, it's just something, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I actually played, I think this is the reason why I said I would want to probably hook up my Sega CD if I have the parts to it, like the plug-in parts. Yes, I would. I would get myself a new controller, probably some new parts, probably check the battery if it's still good, get a fresh one just in case, and plug it in. I'm not sure if I would get a capture device, but if I would so do Sega CD games. I have no idea. I mean, if Steam can't do it, if Steam can't, release most of these games I'm showing here, then hey, I might. I'm not sure, but I might. But yes, Install is one of those underrated games that just really fall off the radar. Just like everything else I've shown you so far. Of course, I also have Guardian Heroes. I've already shown you Guardian Heroes. But this is the box that I'm going to show you that it came from. This is the box that came from this. And of course, if this was on Steam, I'm damn certain that, we'd all be doing this. I swear. Because, I mean, with this cast, you can basically, I don't know, it's like 2 players. It's up to 6 people, but I swear to God, it'd be fun as all hell. It's us smacking the shit out of each other just because. I don't like you. I don't like you yet. Bah, 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 bah. Yeah. I don't like you. I don't like you. Another Sega CD game that I still own to this day. Fatal Fury Special, or Garo Densetsu Special. Of course, this is somewhat of an okay port, home port of Fatal Fury Special. Not as good as the arcade port, but it tries. I mean, it really does try. And of course, it is part of King of Fighters, so you've seen Fatal Fury. This is just this is just an add-on. Special is basically an add-on. Oh yeah, there's another game that I probably will want to re-download if I actually do it, and I might do it. Daytona! Yeah. Daytona USA Championship Circuit Edition. I actually have both versions, which is good. Of course, they're both in my special case underneath my bed. But yes, this is one of those games I just actually enjoyed playing. Oh, man. Arcade racing at its finest. You can't get any much more arcade special than this. Yeah, so I'm going through my box of underrated games. Why am I going through all these games? Because I feel I've forgotten what my channel is about. This is about it. This is what my channel is about. Playing underrated games. And speaking of underrated games, I actually have this for, emulation, and this is Darius Gaiden. Of course, Darius is a very old, very classic game from Taito. It has a claim on it. It's still a Taito game. Let me see. I don't know how I'm doing